Good day, dear friends. Good day, and a hearty hello and a hi-yo silver and a welcome and a happy Memorial Day weekend to you, my friends, sounds oxymoronic. Happy Memorial Day, a day when we're supposed to tomorrow think about and honor America's fallen, but of course it's not our fault. We're just doing, barbecues and that sort of thing. In any event, welcome, my friends. It is the 7 p.m. version of this thing of ours on the 26th day of May, 2024. Let me remind you, as I always do, just to give you an idea, just to give you some perspective, it is exactly 163 days until the election. 163 days, ladies and gentlemen, until the Biden horror show is over. It will be over. And what's important is that you can feel it. You can feel this. It's not merely these numbers. When you watch some of these news shows, bless their heart, they'll say, well, the Real Clear Politics number shows it in the swing states at 4%. I say, that's not what I want to hear. Tell me why. Tell me, give me more. You can tell when things are, it's very rare that you have something happen this great, this important, and it's not subject to feeling. I understand the metrics, and I appreciate that, but that's all they do. Well, in Wisconsin, stop it. Look what's going on. Look, can you feel the momentum, and what do you look for? What is it that you're paying attention to? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to celebrate. The obvious. And I want people to understand something right now. I want my country back. I cannot even think of 4 more years of this. I cannot think of 1 more second of this every single day. Every time I hear some lunatic, every time I hear of another border issue, missing children, crime, another, I got to tell you something. I don't know where we got into these letters, but there was something the other day. It was a wonderful organization, and it ended with TSGLO. It was like, what are you doing? It was trans two spirit. Why? Enough with this. I got to tell you something. Mrs. Eld and I were watching, and I stopped it to be with you because I'm going to go back. I'm going to finish it. It was on Netflix. It was this most incredible documentary of LeVar Burton. What was it called? Reading Rainbow. Anybody remember that? I was too old. I wasn't. It was the most wonderful program. And yes, I think they're going to let Trump back in because hillbilly, the gap, it's too big to rig. That was always something. And you can hear this. Yes. It's not that they want him in. He's going back in. Yes. And as I was watching this wonderful thing, it was 83 it started. It was this wonderful show that encouraged kids to read. And they had every kid in the rainbow, and this is before the gay movement took over the rainbow, but it was, and Jesse Jackson, I guess, but it was everything. It was obviously there were Indian kids in this, and they didn't have a label that said black, Afro, indigenous, gay, trans, Indian, Afro, Jew. No, stop it. We didn't wear our ethnicities like a label. It was beautiful. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And I've got some clips for you, my dear friend. My clips for you. Oh, you're going to love this. But before we get, I have been talking about this, and I have been I have been adamant over the notion about being prepared because and I know, and everybody knows that there will one day be some moment of horror in which what hits the fan. And stores will be closed, food will be unavailable for either a short amount of time, and people are going to freak out. And when people freak out, bad things happen. So now is the time to go to preparedwithlionel.com and listen carefully. It's no longer a question of if something catastrophic is coming, it's when. And while you still have some control, What are you going to do about it now to prepare? Well, your first step is going to my website, preparedwithlionel.com. And for a limited time, take $200 off a 3-month emergency food supply. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you and your family to prepare. They've helped over 2 million families already. These 3-month kits with ready hour foods provide over 2,000 calories every day with 22 varieties and a 25-year shelf life. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, snacks, everything. And they're sealed inside 6 rugged waterproof buckets, and they're over 120 pounds of food. So take advantage right now and go to preparedwithlionel.com, preparedwithlionel.com. One more time, preparedwithlionel.com. My friends, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. For 4 long years, we have suffered. We have suffered in a way that is just inexplicable. We have suffered through horror, and we had 4 years of the best president I have seen in my lifetime. Go ahead. Tell me when were things great? Tell me when does anything compare to this? Ladies and gentlemen, Cloned Steve Dreamkiller says, I was at West Point yesterday and Biden stumbled through his commencement address. It was shameful. Well, first of all, you want to feel shameful? You want to see what's said? You want to I'm glad you brought that up. And by the way, thank you for your kindness. Do you want to really see something? Do you? Are you ready? Don't get the kids out of the seriously, this is not for kids. This is not for just watch this.
Yeah. Anyway, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. I was just thanking, anyway. But I just, look, I mean, Putin's kleptocracy, yeah.
Should I go on with this? Can you take this? No, seriously, can you take this? This is like a trigger warning. Can you take this? Well, you know what? You'd better take it because this is reality.
It was in January, after being elected, the late January, early February. He said, "It's not we lead, not just." Well, I won't go into it. Here's.
Think it's funny, huh? You tell these friends, tell your friends, tell your friends, tell them. Oh, you want to vote? Oh, you don't like Trump because what? Because he what? He said what? In the Access Hollywood tape? You what? Oh, so you like this instead?
What drives the driver in the states that are affected? Here's what you can do, the drivers. For 2 reasons. One,
you better watch this. I'm serious. People, oh no, this is no. You wanted this? I tell my friends, you wanted this? You want this? And by the way, this is getting worse. This doesn't clear up. This isn't something that all of a sudden is going to say, well, he's going to snap out of it.
An impact that decades been making, because inaction was there was inaction. With the Department of from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
He wants to debate Trump. He's talking about debating him. Seriously, this isn't even funny. This is elder abuse. Why don't they make it stop? Seriously, why don't they make this stop?
The idea that and Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce right, Shanga. But there's, there to be, beginning this effort, and I want you to know that I want to thank you as well for, but the nature, not.
Remember this. Remember this. Remember this. Remember this. This is the most important thing in the world. Remember this. Tell your friends. Just remind. This is what we're not talking about making fun of somebody on TV. This isn't some SNL skit. This is the president. He's sending messages out. Come on, bring it on. Come on. This is the guy in charge of the nuclear code. How can these people allow this? How can this honestly be allowed? It's mind-boggling. What the hell is that? By the way, what is he praying? I'm sorry, I don't want to. No, this is probably the most frightening. What is he doing?
America.
It's like he's doing an incantation. Check out. This is Ketanji Jackson Brown.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
Here we go.
I was going to put him. Look.
Okay.
A solid meeting with the Los Angeles and
This is incredible. This is seriously. This. Can you believe this is happening? Can you believe that? I had to stop it. I've got more. I have to stop this. This is what we're talking about. Malik says, I was wondering if you've seen the Rogan podcast with Terrence Howard. I need to know what to think about it. Joke, I always appreciate your opinion. I saw some snippets of it, and I can't really comment on it. I don't know enough about it. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I don't watch everything assiduously, but I will do this. Should I watch it? Should I? Do you think that makes sense? But I tell you what I did watch, which, I mean, if you want to see something that scares me, and I'm not necessarily into, scaring you, but try a little bit of this.
What am I doing here? From the
6 months to go.
Excuse me. They also increase corporate growth.
How do they do
make
this?
A very good point. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
$159 billion left. My plan is to make concrete. I know.
He wants to make concrete. He wants to make concrete. Damn it, it's obvious.
President, excuse me.
Okay, fair enough. And and remember one thing too. Remember when the DOJ special prosecutor had the audio and was going to release it, and they used executive action that you can't release that. Can you imagine that? This is during basically what amounts to a deposition, and he was so gone that they're not prosecuting him because he's that gone. And this ain't the Sicilian flu, folks. This is gone. He is gone. There's no other way around it. And I'm trying not to laugh. Other than when I think of what this man did for 4 years, you know what? Screw him. I don't care. Tough titty. Get off the stage. Get out of here. Get out of here. You have no business being the president of the United States. And I've been saying this since before you took office, when I heard that corn pop bullshit, and I knew even then.
Leading tech companies.
It's easy for you to say.
Anthropic. And I'm going to mispronounce.
Yep.
I'm not going to try.
Go
Beer
ahead.
brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this refiner. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes.
Earth Rider. Thank you. Wouldn't that be good? But you know, a Bud Light. By the way, is Bud Light still off the? I wonder if Dylan McDermott or whatever that spokesperson was. I think that would have been a good one. Seriously, I don't know about you, but I think the king of beers. I think. Listen, it's the water. Remember Olympia? It's the water.
Beer brewed here,
Yes.
it is used to make the brew beer in this refiner. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great
Earth
Lakes.
Rider.
By the end of a governing crisis, it's time to end these constant. Anyway, it'll be good. Because that's why we can't let. We cannot let this election be one where the same man who was president 4 years ago. I'll never forget. Well, I won't go into that. Anyway, I just think that
This is just absolute horror. Now, in the meantime, this happened.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, let's hear it one more time for Matchbox 20.
That wasn't Matchbox 20. It was former President Trump aboard Trump Force One, flying over the Coca-Cola 600. Once he lands, he'll head over to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where he will meet Gold Star families, take part.
This man's incredible. I mean, the stamina, back and forth, flying court cases, back. He's in, and it's hot as hell, and he's wearing his jacket and a hat, and how he is unbelievable. Now, let me tell you something. This is the one. Maybe, if this is possible, maybe that'll make you say, "Wait a minute, what?" I know that's hard to believe. This is the one that may make you say, "What? What? How did I? What? They let him on the air? What?" The backstory of this is Pete Buttigieg was on CBS, and they were asking him specifically. There was only 7 or 8 vehicle charging stations that have been produced with $7.5 billion investment of taxpayer money. Okay? Listen to his response. This is the one that's good. Remember, watch his response. Watch the certitude, the absolute. Well, of course, and even the CBS, I forget what her name is. Her name is what's her name? I forget. She starts laughing. She laughs at him. This is CBS. Yes, Margaret Brennan. This is Pete Buttigieg slamming Biden's insane. This is rather CBS playing a clip for Pete Buttigieg of Trump slamming Biden's insane electric vehicle mandate, and we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars subsidizing a car that nobody wants, and Buttigieg says, "Oh no, he's not. He's wrong." Okay, here we go. Enough of me trying to explain this. Get ready.
Highway administration says only 7 or 8 charging stations have been produced with a $7.5 billion investment.
Wait a minute. Wait. 7 or 8. 7 or 8 was $7 billion. That's like $1 billion per charging station. No, this can't be 7 or 8. No. 7 or 8. Did you say 7 or 8?
The Federal Highway Administration says only 7 or 8 charging stations have been produced with a $7.5 billion investment that.
Wait a minute. What?
Taxpayers made back in 2021. Why isn't that happening more quickly?
So the president's goal is to have 500,000 chargers up by the end of this decade.
500,000 by the end of this decade? Does that seem rather 500,000? This is the way they do this? By the end of the decade? So before what, 2030? Does that make sense to you? And so far, how's he done so far, Pete? Give us an idea.
Now, in order to do a charger, it's more than just plunking a small device into the ground. There's utility work, and this is also really a new category of federal investment. But we've been working with each of the 50 states. Every one of them is getting formula dollars to do this work, engaging them in the first handful. Again, by 2030, 500,000 chargers. And the very first handful of chargers are now already being physically built.
Now, did you see this? This is CBS. You got to get this. This is CBS here. She is laughing at him. Dig this.
First handful, again, by 2030, 500,000 chargers. And the very first handful of chargers are now already being physically built.
7 or 8. Meanwhile,
Florida Small Business Winner Award winner, Business Week winner.
Jeez.
Now, he doesn't involve our institution. About the former prime minister like to take baths up that. Anyway, they overruled that to reinstate the 32nd freestanding have.
Thank you, Republican Party. Can you believe this? Seriously, do you not say to yourself, dear God, this can't be? And you were asked before, do you think they're going to let him win? There's 6 months to go. This is old. This isn't like yesterday. You think he's going to get better? You think there's not enough Adderall produced? The cartels can't produce enough Adderall to make this man even stand up. Can you believe this? And nobody wants an electric car. Nobody wants an electric car because you know what uses up the battery? Things like electricity, not electricity, air conditioning, radios. This is such bullshit. And this Pete Booty Giggity never did anything about East Palestine, never did anything about it. He's been AWOL. And you drag him out now? Dear God, how is this happening? What has happened to our country? How if he was, let's say, royally, crazedly, wildly schizophrenic, screaming and yelling, and what if he was just beyond any rational sense? Would they sit back and let him do this? How far can he go? How far before they say, all right, that's enough? Now, here's the best one, too. You have to go sometimes to the enemy to hear. I played for you recently. We had MSDNC, their own, was it CNN? I forget what it was. It was the woman who said, well, I was there in the Bronx, and you know what? There's a lot of people there who like him. That's not what you're supposed to say. Well, I may not be what I'm supposed to say, but I mean, they like him a lot. They really like him a lot. And it would really be important if we could maybe sort of, pay attention to what really is going on here because they like him. Well, dig this. This is that Dana Bash who just, she's growing. And the thing is, they know ahead of time. When they have these people come on, they know what they're going to say. It's not like they're confused or they're surprised. Listen to this one.
I think going to the Libertarian Convention was smart. According to Gallup, they represent.
By the by, you might have heard this. Trump appears at the Libertarian Convention and they booed him. Okay, so what? Then maybe you can help me with this. They liked Bobby. They said he was nominated. Then he wasn't. I don't even understand this, and I don't care. But Trump walked in, and he doesn't care. Most people loved him, and they're talking about, okay, crypto is great, and that's important, and I grasp it. But Ross Ulbricht is not exactly condition number one. The red line issue for most Americans. Okay, so this is what he's in reference to. This is the reference there.
20% of the American electorate
We're trying
smart.
again.
According to Gallup, they represent 17 to 20% of the American electorate. Maybe you shave off 8% of them. That can make a difference in a very, very tight presidential race. Regardless of the reasons, going to the Bronx, it's important. No one should be presumptive to assume that people of color are going to just vote one way.
Presumptuous, by the way. And this just want to say something. The knot of the tie, I don't know where you got that one from, but you might want to reconsider. But proceed.
Purely because they're black or because they're Hispanic. That seems to be the case for my Democratic friends. And I think it's why a lot of people of color are looking at Joe Biden and they're realizing that my life is not better. When I go to the grocery store, things are expensive. The infrastructure in my surrounding community has not improved. And when I think about the future for my children, they're still in dilapidated schools where the educational system is deplorable. That's the Democratic message in my perspective. And so to have a Republican show up, whether he's being booed, jeered, whatever the case may be, he's showing up to places where Joe Biden is not, and I think that's going to make a difference.
Isn't that something? Doesn't that just make you say that, wow? Doesn't that make you say, wow? And don't forget,
You as well for, but the nature, not
dear God,
the,
I'm sorry. I am going to burn in hell, but not really, because of what this man did. Let me ask you, dear friends, you dear, wonderful, great, and glorious, and fast. What is the one? Tell me one thing Joe Biden or anybody has done. Tell us. Tell us. Tell us. Tell me one thing. One thing. One thing that he has done. No, just tell me one. I know people don't like Trump. Made things woke. What is it? Tell me, what is it? What did he do? Name one thing. Tell me one thing. China tariffs? Becky can't? There's nothing. How does he seriously think that we have just that we've forgotten this? This is my favorite.
I'll go ahead and
It's true.
America is an
I just don't even know what to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to tell you. But here's what I do tell you, and I can tell you, is my friends. When I look back, it's so funny. Mrs. Ellen and I were driving. We went to this place. It's new opening. We love stores, new grocery. I'm a grocery store guy. I love it. Love new things. And there's a place here in this neck of the woods, starting in Connecticut, called Stu Leonard's. And Stu Leonard's, they opened one in Clifton, a town. What is Clifton? A town of unbiased, by stigma-free, some bullshit like that. Anyway, you pull off the Route 3 and it says Clifton, a town to whatever it is. Anyway, so there we are. And it was an Acme, and then they closed the Acme. This big store. Then there was something called Seasons, which was it was a big kosher store. That didn't make it. So Stu Leonard's, and I mean, it looked like Woodstock. Cops and and they're all like this. Hi, welcome to Stu Leonard's. They're into that. They're kind of like Wegmans has that kind of not a cult, but they're happy, and they've got animated cows and the chicken. I mean, it's just wild, and it was so American. It's Stu Leonard's and these people who basically build something up from the bottom and just love. People are crazy about Stu Leonard's, STEW Leonard's. Well, that's Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell's the same thing. He came and he's got an incredible story, but he came up with this great pillow company, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's the biggest thing anybody's ever seen. People love him. And they immediately started to shut him down, or try to shut him down, merely because he showed and dared to indicate an allegiance towards President Trump. And we said, no, we're going to decide when he shuts down, not you. And he's still there, but he still needs your support, and you still need his incredible products. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at MyPillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, listen carefully. Check out their $25 extravaganzas. Premium My Pillows, Queen and King, My Pillow 2.0. My Pillow bed sheets, the lowest price ever. Sandals, slides, slippers, 6-piece towel sets, 4-pack dish towel sets. Simply and absolutely unbelievable. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike Lindell answers the phone. MyPillow.com, simply and absolutely the best. Indeed, my friends. Now, as you know, tomorrow is the celebration of, I shouldn't say celebration. It's one of those things that it's like one of those Happy Memorial Day. And Americans don't care anything about it. All over the city today, we see nothing but Marines and sailors and walking back and forth. And they look 10. They look 10 years old. I saw a gunny sergeant last night, and they're walking around and they're just, I don't know. I kind of feel sorry for them. I don't want to do this. I don't want to say, but I feel sorry for them. And I feel sorry that nobody's going to remember anything. If anything happens to you, nothing will happen. We might do a wall. Vietnam Memorial, that's the wall. I watch these YouTube things all the time about these veterans. Oh, we love the veterans. And I don't understand how these people live in this world where they don't seem to grasp the notion that American governments don't care a thing about you. They don't care. They simply don't care a thing. And when it comes to our ability to understand what's happening, we have all of these folks who stand by and say, yeah, America, send it. No more wars. None. There's no more war. None. There's no reason. We don't need any more wars. And I'm not trying to sound like, Pete Seeger or something, but there's no reason. Not for NATO, not for Israel, not for Russia, not for Ukraine. There is nobody bothering us. We have no business there. None. And these folks want to absolutely just set, I cannot believe how folks can miss the point. Let me ask you something right now. This might be the most difficult, but this is a great time for us to do kind of like a focus group. And by the way, a lot of folks watch our channel. Can't tell you who. That might not be right. But they watch and they learn. And I got one particular comment. They said it's almost like, dare I say, a focus group because you're the most honest and you're the most, I want to say, varied to an extent. I don't know, because all I see are just thumbnails, and I know a little bit about you. I don't really know anything about your background or race, and frankly, I don't really care. I just want your mind and your heart and your soul and your good spirit is what I want. Even if it's a two-spirit spirit. But if you try to explain what is the thing, to me, there's not one thing about either against Biden or against Trump. Because let me tell you something. If somebody said, if you don't want Biden, and this is the hardest one, whom would you pick? Whom would you select? And frankly, say anybody. I'll take anybody. It doesn't matter to me. I'll take anybody. You don't understand. Anybody. And the thing about what's going to happen right now is you got to understand this. There is not one thing. The president has got to continue doing, just feel the momentum, but also throw in, like you did the other day so brilliantly. Tell people what you're going to do. Tell them you're there. Do you know There are people, and I'm sorry, there are some good Democrats out there who are thinking, this is not my idea of what's going on. And they have to shield Biden from him. They have to keep him, they have to give him special shoes with special soles so he won't fall down. I'm not kidding you. You've seen them. This particular sole brand or what have you that he has to wear. I'm not kidding you. He has to wear this so he doesn't fall down. And they surround him. Did you see Trump going up and down Trump Force 2 or whatever it's called? It's the most incredible thing in the world. He goes up and down, he runs. This man, it's so bad. And if it was anybody else, I wouldn't be making fun of him. But this is a guy who is destroying what's left of my country. And he has to go out the very bottom of Air Force One, which is like for the crew or like the landing gear. Pretty soon you're going to have a slide out there. They're going to have a little slide. Then they have people surround him. And here's the best part. I have this on good authority that the inside skinny is that his doctors are saying he can't walk. He needs a walker because of his stability. And if he falls and hits his head, he's had problems in the past. I remember the aneurysm surgery he had in the old days was when brain surgery was not the brain surgery it is today. There's an old expression, you ain't the same when the air hits your brain. You should read this book. It's one of my favorites by a neurologist. It's this, and you're not the same. Okay, fine. See, we never want to talk about that. Trump's running around back and forth. He makes one mistake. He confuses one name. After that, he runs back and forth. There's no end to what he's doing. Then he's got to go back to court. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. He is indefatigable. I go on a plane and it takes me hours to recover. I hate planes. Something about the pressure and whatever. I don't know what it is. I can't do it. He does it. And they look at you with a straight face and they say, Trump's not able to handle this. And then you got another problem. And this is something which I want you to understand. And I want to bring this up very carefully. Bobby Kennedy, he's not going to win. He's not even interested. But this is a guy who was a heroin addict. Now, what happens if all of a sudden he has a relapse when he's president? What do? Richard Nixon was an alcoholic. Richard Nixon used to beat the hell out of Pat, his wife. You know that story, right? It's brutal. I mean, he was really serious. Serious. Nobody wants to talk about that. You mean to tell me that Bobby Kennedy can't have a relapse, that he can't sit there? There are people who go, what if he needs to go to a meeting or something? He can't. You don't think that's important? You don't think a mental state of mind is important? I do. And again, in any other walk of life, I'd say, you know what? Good for you. God bless you. One day at a time. That's terrific. But as president, do you know what this man can do if he decides to get a wild hair up his ass and what have you? Do you understand how critical this is? How our country needs a president? And I'm telling you right now, like Trump. And I want you to understand this too. There are people you're going to meet who are going to hate him. You know what? F them. Pardon my expression. I think you know what that means. And F you if you can't take a joke. Just enough with this. I am tired. We're done. We're done. You had 4 years. Watch Rachel Maddow. Go ahead. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The very first thing the president does is, I'm telling you right now, what he should do, what I would advise is no inauguration. Do you hear me? No inauguration. I'm going to get back before they start because everything's wired. Because remember, when he's on his way in, they are rewiring that office for sound. You know that. You know that. He is getting ready. Whoever wants to be on his team right now has got to be out of his mind. But rumor has it that he'll have a team of like legal ninjas. He needs a Jim Baker. He needs to reach out. He needs to fix this thing. He's got no problem with Putin, no problem with Xi Jinping. And you got to understand, Mrs. Ellen and I were listening today, coming back from Stu Leonard's, by the way. And John Mearsheimer is simply, he's superior. He's absolutely superior. And I do not understand my country, how it is being sold out, and it's sold its soul to NATO, the military-industrial complex, the environmental groups, the EV group, and Israel. How does this work? Who allows this? How did this happen? Are you for that? Is there anybody right now who thinks that, oh, this is terrific? No, we're doing great. Hey, that Gaza thing, that's going to turn out terrific. And whatever Israel says, we'll just sign our name. Whatever you want. Billions, just don't worry about us. Don't worry about us. Just how much do you need? How much? How much? So you can just wipe it out completely. Is there anybody who says, that's a great idea? I'm all for that. And don't give me this anti-Semitic bullshit. Is anybody not hearing it? Anybody not understand the lunacy of NATO? Do you remember this? We are being held a stranglehold by these neocon military-industrial complex war profiteers. Enough of that. This country's got to pour billions of dollars into domestic law enforcement. Billion. We need to make this country, and by the way, to shock people back into realization of what's going on, we need to be really serious by saying, holy cow, look at these people. We have got to show them we mean business. And that means billions of dollars that we put here in this country. Remember the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act? Remember that? The NDAA was weird because what it did was, and I couldn't believe I said this then. It was a hyper-militarization of the police. We would have MRAPs. This is how crazy it is. Listen to what I'm saying. MRAPs were these huge military, heavy-duty trucks and vehicles that would tear up streets because they're huge. And they would scare the living shit out of bad guys. And they would go in and they say, here, we'll give them to you. And I and others in the old days said, oh, no, we don't need this. There are all these like, what's going on? The cops were too tough. Slow this thing down. Wait a minute. We talked about, remember that line from Posse Comitatus? It was that line from Battlestar Galactica. Do you remember this great line? Star Galactica. Remember Edward James Olmos? About the people or the enemy, and I'll never forget this. He said something, Adama. He said, but I'm not going to be your policeman. There's a reason why you separate military and the police. One fights the enemy of the state. The other serves or protects the people. And there was this one line about where it was about Posse Comitatus. It was a great, great, great line. Where was this image? I'll never forget this. I was actually quoting him. Here we go. He said, there's a reason you separate military and the police. This is Posse Comitatus. One fights the enemies of the state. The other serves or protects the people. When the military becomes both, then the enemies of the state tend to become the people. Okay? This is the way we used to think. This is the way I used to think. This was when I was in, this was before everything fell apart. I was always worried about, I don't want to live in some police state. I want a police state now. We're living in a police state now. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are living in a police state. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. We are under so much surveillance. Our personal freedoms have been completely co-opted, if not completely wrested from our control. From FISA court violations to every conceivable, name it. The First Amendment is under attack. This started with Obama, with oh my God, the wiretaps, what they're doing to Snowden, what they're doing to Assange. So they did that, but meanwhile they retreated. It's like, whoa, wait. You want to be getting the people? Where are the police? Oh, there's no police. Wait a minute, what? In the old days, whenever they clamped down, it was like Mayor Daley or something. It was like Boss. It was like Joe Arpaio. They went hand in hand. They subjugated the people to the jackbooted, boot on the neck, kind of a fascistic. But they don't do that. No, they just destroyed all of our personal liberties and took the police away. I think, what is this? Oh, we just want the surveillance. We want to control you. We took the police, and we want you to be consumed. And you can call this either Hegelian dialectic. You can refer to this as problem, reaction, solution, or what is this? Thesis, antithesis, synthesis, however you want to do it. But they took the police away. I never realized that. They took the police away, but they doubled down on all of the other limitations. And then the best part was, listen to this. In New York, they didn't see this one coming. When everybody went crazy over basically what amounts to the most incredible academic stricture and destruction of personal liberty and free speech in the history of this country, to what they did at colleges and universities, those who dared to not toe the line, those who dared to not mimic and ape the official rote line from AIPAC and BB and others. I couldn't believe that. Still can't believe it. But what happened was, as they said, let's bring in the cops. All of a sudden, people said, who are these? Those are the cops. Wait a minute. Those aren't the cops. Remember Reno 911? Remember that one? Remember that was one of the best shows ever. Remember the lieutenant with the shorts and whatever? There was this one woman she had Cardi lap. She didn't have the Cardi B lens lashes then, but she had the fingernails and the whole bit. That's what we see all the time now. I saw a police officer with, pardon my French, an ass so big it looked like two kids fighting under a blanket with a gun, standing on the corner thinking, what are you doing? What is this? This is the police? She couldn't have walked or run 10 feet. Johnny Maz says, off-topic subject, have you noticed the rash of suicides, blood clots, heart attacks amongst the young and old with no cause of death and reason likely? Something comes to mind, but I can't say, oh, I'm with you. How about everybody's committing suicide? How about and golfers? Why are golfers going crazy? What is with golf? No, I'm glad you brought that up, but thank you for that. What about golfers? They're nuts. They used to be like Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, hey, Lee Trevino, Ben Hogan, this is nice, Johnny Miller. And now they're crazy getting arrested. So back to what I was saying, when all of a sudden these new cops came in, people said, hey, we like this. Who are they? They're the cops. Where have they been? Well, they're kind of hiding. Have we always had them? Let's bring them in again. And all of these trucks came in, siege equipments. I've never seen, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of vehicles and material that you never see. that the NYPD has, and there are divisions. There's this ERS, or Emergency Services, blah blah blah, and they do all this stuff. And oh my God, I mean, they come out of the woodwork, and you don't know how this is until whatever. Okay, fine. So now people are saying we like this. Hey, Eric Adams, another jadrul who was picked there and picked and selected because he was an idiot and could be pushed around. The DEI movement, let's bring in all these incompetents. Specifically, number one, it's because of their race. We want equity, and equity means this. It's about a demographic. We don't give a shit about you. We are an identitarian, lunatic, spending free, black, trans, whatever. Line them up. But I'm going to line them up. That's what I like. That's what I like. Diversity. There's no diversity. Yeah, well, that's not what I mean. There's equity. There's equality. There's ineptitude. This is dumbasses, EPOPs, and ineptitude. What are we talking about here? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want this guy gone. I want this guy gone. Do you hear me? This guy.
That can be defined in a single word.
Yeah, him.
I was going to put him. Look.
No, you look. Feed it.
A solid meeting with
vaccines.gov.
The Los Angeles and what am I doing here?
What are you doing?
From
the sea to shining tear.
Excuse me. They also increase corporate.
Please
growth.
Remember this.
They make a very good point. Here's the deal.
Please remember this. This isn't
$159 billion less. My plan is to make concrete.
How embarrassing! Seriously, how can you believe? It's like you would say to yourself, I have been living in a dream. I have been living in a dream. I don't even know what. I am so confused. I am so beaten down. If I hear one more person explain to John Kennedy or whoever it is that no, I can't define what a woman is. We've lost it. My friends, listen to me and listen carefully. We're going to win this. We're going to win this. Everybody is saying it. The polls, 6 months to go. Absent the unthinkable, okay? Unbelievable. That's all I'm saying. I have more friends, more fellow travelers, so to speak, more people who are behind him who never, ever, ever would have thought of being behind him before, ever. It's that important, that critical. I'm seeing this like I've never saw before. Never. It's that incredible. Now, my friends, I want you to do me a big, big, big favor. One of you nice folks said, I listened to Mrs. L. This is her YouTube channel. Watch what she's saying. Do not turn your head. Do not say, oh, the subject's icky. They're after our children. I don't know how to say this any other way. They're after our children. And President Trump has done more. Do you know that he did more? He spearheaded a group. He spearheaded a collective effort to deal with why indigenous Native Americans, Indian women and children are missing or murdered at a clip like nobody else. Nobody did this. Nobody did this. Biden didn't do it. Biden doesn't know what he's doing. So here she is. This is her. This is her website. Not her. I keep saying website. Her YouTube channel. And watch it. And also, by the way, when you get a chance, watch on Netflix this wonderful show that came out in 1983 about teaching kids how to read. And then, of course, when computers came, kids lost all interest in reading because of this. blast. People will never understand what games did. Not Game Boy. At least with a Game Boy, you're strategizing, you're doing something, you're doing subtraction. This is a different story. And I mean that sincerely. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. And to you fine and great people, Johnny Maz, Malik, Clone as Steve Dream Killer, Hillbilly, and Trisha Whistler, by the way, a new member. Trisha, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of our family and our group. And it was such a wonderful, 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 wonderful time being with you this eve. I will see you again tomorrow at 8 a.m. for our Memorial Day show. And I thank you again for being with us. We are going to win. We are going to win. Hallelujah. We're going to win. Re-election of a non-consecutive re-election since Grover Cleveland. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious night. Enjoy time with your friends and family. Be careful. Please don't drink and drive. You might hit a bump, spill the drink. Not a good idea. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And until then, remember, my friends, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.